Coben, you moved away from your parents in a small town and moved to the city, and that must have been a really difficult decision to make. So, two-part question. What are some of the concerns you had moving away from your parents, and how did you deal with them? And how were you able to shift your mindset to make that decision?
Sure, yeah, if you guys can hear me there. If I can just go back and think to like the very early days of my injury, I can still remember being in the hospital and kind of imagining what my life could look like how could I still be useful, how could I still have a life that I'm like proud of, and something that motivates me to get out of the bed. And just, you can imagine, as everyone else has had all those same questions. And one thing that really helped me was kind of just like finding education, because I knew that I can't work any physical jobs now. I'm not going to be doing construction or maybe be the athlete or the other million of ideas I had in my head, but I could see that school was one way forward for me to be able to work and then be able to find a career. And so once I kind of knew that, I really dedicated myself to just finishing up my high school, finishing up my grade 12, and then kind of applying for college and sort of starting to make my way slowly through that process that most people do after high school to figure out what their life would look like. And it all kind of came together bit by bit. I know my parents, I relied on them a ton. I still do, but especially in the beginning, they helped me with everything. I was about 17 years old when this happened, so you can imagine that it's pretty hard at any age, but especially being a young kid, I just had no idea what I was going to do. So trying to think of how I would live in the city, how I would be on my own, how I would live independently with caregivers. It was all just like too much to handle at once. So I think what kind of helped me was breaking it down by what I have to do next, and then after that, what I would find next. So for example, just trying to find places that I could live, trying to apply to school, trying to get accepted. So I just kind of broke all these little stages into little almost like battles, and then when I could complete one thing, I could move on to the next. And then that would slowly just kind of give me a little bit of confidence. And really the only way that you can, I guess, discover that is by going to try. If you just sit there and worry about what it will look like, you're never going to find out. So you kind of have to put yourself out there and discover okay, this is what this is going to look like. Now that I'm in the school, how am I going to do my exams? And maybe it didn't work the first time, but you can go back and you can talk to the people that are there to help you. And most people that are seeing people like us are more than willing to try to help out, try to do anything they can. So I found trying to use some of those resources, and especially at the school too, because the schools will have accessible offices that are solely there to focus on your success and trying to meet you at what you can do. And I used a lot of that, especially in the first years, and then also just kind of looking online, looking at spinal cord injury communities. There's a ton of that online where people are always sharing their ideas that they pick up from their experiences, and I found that was really helpful, trying to find new technology that would allow me to use a computer again without having to talk and yell at my phone every 5 seconds and getting frustrated. So doing some of those things really helped me. And then you slowly just get more comfortable over time. And like I said, if you're not willing to put yourself out there a little bit, you'll never kind of understand what you are capable of. And I also think it's good to go and look back to and think about where you were 4 years ago, or where you were 5 years ago, or in the beginning of the injury, because it can seem like maybe nothing has changed, but if you can kind of think about the worst times and where you are now, usually it often seems like things have gotten a lot better, and there are a lot of positive things to keep on moving towards. And I think I always just kept trying to remind myself about that, just trying to envision what my future could look like and what's possible. And I'm really glad that I'm still able to go to school, still able to work towards a career. It's been 7 years I'm in school now, so it's definitely not fast, but I know I'm going to get there eventually. So, sorry, what was the second question? I kind of forgot
You know
now.
what? You totally covered all of it.
Okay.
You did a great job.
Okay, I didn't really prepare. I'm just kind of
You did a great
blabbering,
job.
so.
No, you did a great job.
Okay,
Colin.
thank you.
Excellent
Yeah.
answer.